Body positivity is a dangerous movement. Rhiannon, why have you gone for the disagree?
So I'm a big person, and I think that there's nothing wrong with that.
Yes, there is. There is a huge amount wrong with that. Now, I'll tell you why. We are all extraordinarily lucky, firstly to be alive, and secondly to be speaking English. Anywhere else, or I'm being a bit facetious there obviously, but living in a relatively wealthy country and to be alive, these are two things that you are all extraordinarily fortunate to have. And so by you just stuffing your face and doing whatever you want and not looking after yourself, you are effectively putting two fingers up to the fact that, I'm alive and I don't care. And it's not good enough. You are so fortunate. I went backpacking, and I remember seeing a young child. He was a young boy, probably about 2 or 3 years old. And this was in Vietnam. He was playing on a building site. He had a nappy on or a diaper and nothing else. He was barefoot, and he was just playing with rocks from a fallen down building. And it was at that point I realized that, Jesus Christ, I'm so lucky, because I can go back home. I can go back to the UK. I can go to America. I can go wherever I want. I can afford to buy food. I can go get myself educated. I can create a video, which I'm doing right now. So many people cannot do those things. And by choosing to, without your body, you don't function. And so by choosing to not look after yourself, it is morally incorrect to be very, very thin or very, very fat. I'm not saying you have to be a bodybuilder. I'm not saying you have to be an Olympian, but you have to look after yourself. That is a moral choice, and you are obliged to do it, not just for yourself, but for the other people who don't have the ability to be able to do that.
I just feel that someone should feel accepted and proud of their body if they're not meeting society's expectation of fit.
If someone's happy with the way they look, fine, you don't want help. Yet you are saying, I feel good, I mentally feel good, physically, your body is screaming at you and saying, help.
Yeah, I agree, it's why I'm not over here.
It's okay to be overweight / obese. Okay.
So being overweight, I obviously work with people who are overweight. They are putting themselves at risk of health scares. It's quite unhealthy. I mean, I wouldn't want someone to die.
My reason for going over this side, I don't think there's anything inherently wrong with being bigger, because I think if we lived in a world that just said it was wrong or that it's not okay to be big, I think that would be disadvantaging all the people who are big.
Yeah, okay, right. So the main issue with this is that you're promoting the fact that it's okay to be larger. And by saying that, you're ignoring all the repercussions of that. It's very easy to say anything. Saying words are cheap. Words are really cheap, but repercussions are not. Repercussions are real. So if you think that, oh yeah, it's okay for me to, just do whatever I want, then it's okay for me to break into someone's car, drive it, run over someone, and drive into Buckingham Palace Gate, or whatever it may be. Are there going to be repercussions of that? Yes, and rightly so. Just as the same way, and anyone who said that there weren't going to be repercussions of me going off and doing those things is lying. Okay, the same way that you're completely ignoring the repercussions of you choosing to not look after your own body. That is the problem with being obese. That is the problem with being anorexic. The two extremes, they're not okay. It's not. It's, as I said, words are cheap, but the repercussions will hit you whether you like it or not.
Big, who maybe are big for various reasons. It could be a medication, it might be mental health, it could be something that...
There is no medication that actually makes you overweight, because if that was the case, then they would be prescribing it to people who have anorexia, and that would be solved tomorrow.
But there are side effects of medication that can lead to people...
Yeah.
Are you a pharmacist?
No, I'm a personal trainer.
Yeah.
The way you become overweight is indulging into calories, more than you're burning in a day.
Indulging makes it sound like someone is enjoying. Do you mean it to have that?
No, not necessarily. Not a lot of people enjoy the calories. I have a lot of clients I work with and they will eat because of problems they've got at home, relationships and things. So when they come to me to lose weight, I will try and wrap my head around why they might be that way.
Okay.
I think personal trainers have an incredibly hard job, especially now. I think we are. They're asked to do so much. These days. They're asked to you're not just dealing with the biomechanics of the individual anymore. You're now dealing with the psychology of the individual too. With mental health being such a vast issue these days. If anything, an individual should actually be going to a therapist before going to see a personal trainer. They really should. Now, I know lots of personal trainers who, post-COVID, the number of people which they've had to help through serious mental health issues, really serious ones, they've been on the phone to them, as these people have been talking about wanting to kill themselves. It's that serious. These cases have absolutely shot up. And personal trainers are not qualified to do this. So that's the first issue. The second issue is the personal trainers are then having to take all these other people's mental health issues home with them. A therapist is trained the same way as a police officer is trained to regulate through these significant periods of information that you're having to absorb from other people. Personal trainers, they're just trying to help people get in shape, and all of a sudden they're having to deal with other people's psychological issues. It's a very difficult situation for them to be in.
This will lead on to a question, so let's go back. Going off, really enjoying that.
It's really nice, Cold jar.
Going off what we've just spoken about, being overweight is a choice.
Because what I put in my body is my choice, not someone else's. That is a boundary that I'm not willing to cross. And to say that it's, you're waking up in the morning and you're not choosing to be in a deficit is just stupid, frankly. And obviously, if you're that size, it's actually quite easy to be in a deficit because it takes so many fucking calories to be that size in the first fucking place.
If something's affecting your mental health.
You do choose your health. Okay. Suffering is a choice. Suffering is a choice. I've gone through a lot of crap recently, a huge amount. And I have had to create the mental discipline in my head that suffering is a choice. I was driving the car, I was on my way to the shops, and all of a sudden realized off the top of my head that I am inundating myself with all these negative thoughts, these imaginary situations, these things going on in my mind. And I realized that, hang on, this is literally just my mind telling me stuff, okay? This is not reality. It may be reality, but it's also just not helpful. It's not helping me. So I realized then and there, I have a choice between being in the present moment and being reasonable rather than projecting all this nonsense. And all of a sudden, what happened? All these clouds that were in my mind, this a terrible situation I was in, lifted. It went, done, gone. Suffering is a choice. You have a choice. I just can't stand it. You know what it is people are afraid to tackle their own demons. They are. And it's infuriating, absolutely infuriating, because they blame other people, they push it away, they make excuses, and it's not good enough. I cannot stand this nonsense.
You can't control that. You can control though what you eat. However, it might be hard. There might be times in your day where it is hard to control that. You definitely can have the choice of whether you...
It's discipline. It's discipline. That's all this is. It's just discipline. Going back to that example where I had to tell myself that suffering is a choice. I had to tell myself that 100 times a day, 150 times, maybe 200 times a day. But you know what? The next day, maybe it was 175 times a day. The next day after that, it was a bit less and a bit less and a bit less and a bit less. It takes discipline. I cannot stand people hiding behind this veil of nonsense. It's pathetic.
said really bothers me. I show people they don't need to look a certain way to join a gym.
No, 100%.
Without me putting myself out there and doing what I do, they would never walk through the gym door because the gym is overwhelming. The fact that you feel that me doing that job is morally not great has bothered me because
Well, you can do it. That's what you can do it. You can do whatever you want.
but it's morally incorrect.
If you're out of shape, then
So it is.
it's unhealthy. Again, it's unhealthy.
Yeah, look, it's got nothing to do with the health. It's got to do with what you're promoting for other people. Are you promoting as a trainer? You know, if she was there saying, I am overweight, I know it's unhealthy, and I'm going to work towards being more healthy. Fantastic. But what she's actually saying is, I am overweight, I am not willing to change that, and I am willing to make money off of other people who are also not willing to change that, because they're all hiding, they're all scared of doing the thing which they're afraid to do, which is face their demons and do some bloody hard work.